So there's this theory that you can't physically fold a paper in half more than 7 times. And I know they did a Mythbusters episode on this, but I'm starting to think that, well, first of all, I never finished the episode, so I don't know what ended up happening, but I feel like this theory is also kind of like an urban myth. Like if you were to eat Pop Rocks and then drink soda, your stomach explodes. So I'm determined to test this right now. Okay, so I'm starting with a very simple 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and okay, so I'm going to fold it in half once. Alright, I just folded it in half once. Alright, no issues there, except for this camera will not focus. Alright, now I'm going to fold it in half again, so that's the second time I'm folding it. Okay, still no issues. I'm going to fold that in half again. Alright, so that's fold number 3. You can feel the paper getting more difficult. Okay, so that's fold number 3. Fold number 4 is like that. Okay, and fold number 5. Okay, fold number 5. Fold number 5. Oh, okay, it's getting really thick. Fold number 6. Oh God, I'm not strong enough to make fold number 7. I mean, it's thick. Oh God. Okay. Okay. Well, I can't fold it. Maybe if I had a larger piece of paper, I don't know. But that's that. So that actually leads us into our lesson today, our little mini lesson on exponents. So that activity really lends itself to this idea of when you fold something in half, like how many of those little individual squares would you make in a fold? So for example, when you fold a paper in half like this, you get 2 separate halves of paper. So if I were able to fold that with insanely strong fingers 7 times, how many different folds would there be? So we can use exponents to do that by multiplying 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Whew, that's a lot of 2's. So there's 7 altogether. So if we're actually doing the math, we can double it. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32. I know you're impressed with my mental doubling. 32 times 2 is 64, and 64 times 2 is 128. Okay, so if we wanted to write this in a more simple form, we could say that 2 to the 7th power, or 2 multiplied by itself 7 times, is 128. And so when you see a value written like this, it's actually called exponential form. Fancy mathematical terminology. And so just a basic review of what exponents look like. So when you have the large number, that's your base. And the base tells you, that's the factor. And the exponent tells you the number of times you're going to be multiplying that factor by itself. So if I do a little example over here, if I have 3 to the 4th power, my base number tells me I'm going to be multiplying 3, and the power tells me I'm going to be multiplying 3 by itself 4 times. Now, caution, really terrible zoom in. A lot of people make the mistake of saying, oh, 3 to the 4th power, that's 12. But 3 4 times is very different than 3 multiplied by itself 4 times. As you can see, if we just group these, 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 3 is 9, 3 to the 4th power is 81. And that is really different than 12. So let's do some examples right here. And we're going to start just by writing these in exponential form. So you can say it out loud with me. Exponential form. Okay, so how would we write this in exponential form? So our base is going to be 5, and since it's written 4 times, it's going to be 5 to the 4th power. All right, cool. Uh-oh, what's that? Integers? Negative stuff? These curvy bits called parentheses? All right, well, this tells you that your base is going to be -4. And since it's -4 multiplied by itself 3 times, we're going to write it in exponential form like this. -4 in the parentheses to show that that's the base with a 3 as our exponent. All right, everyone's with me. Hanging in there, because oh my god, we got letters in here. What? Well, here's the thing. You can have a variable as a base. So we have the letter A, and that's going to be our base. And how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I would write this in exponential form, A to the 6th power. Cool. But what is this business? What is this nonsense I'm seeing right here? Oh my gosh, I've got 3 8s and I've got 4 P's. Well, we would write this like this. So we've got 8 to the 3rd power, and then right next to it, because remember when numbers and variables are written next to each other, that implies you're going to be using multiplication. So it's going to be 8 to the 3rd power and then P to the 4th power. And you don't need to simplify anything. That's just how it's done. Woo! Okay, let's do more examples.